In this lecture, I am going to tell you how we can render list of elements in Angular with the help of ngFor directive. In the last lecture, I discussed about Angular data binding and I displayed post data in our post list component. If I check our postlist.component.ts file, here we have this property called post, which is an object. In this lecture, I am going to iterate list of post data with the help of ngFor directive. So I am going to make this an array and I am going to push 2 or 3 records inside this array. So I'm going to modify the ID of that post object. So let's make the title, this is a sample post 1 or sample post 2. Also you can modify the description. I'm using hard-coded data here. Later when we will discuss about services in Angular, we will fetch the record from external API. Let's modify the author to author 1. Also let's modify this is feature to false, and let's modify the category to science, and let's modify the created time. Also I'm going to add another post to this array, and let's modify the ID, let's modify the title, and let's modify the author name. Also let's modify the category to sports. So right now we have this post array inside our postlist.component.ts file. Now I'm going to iterate this post array inside our postlist.component.html file with the help of ngFor directive. So right now this post property is not available inside our postlist.component.ts file, so we cannot use this here. We have this post array, right? So we need to iterate the post array. I'm going to iterate the post array with the help of ngFor directive. ngFor and then let post of post. This post will refer each iteration of this post array, and this post variable will be available inside this ngFor directive. Okay, and we cannot use this post variable outside of this ngFor directive, so we need to add this inside this ngFor directive. Okay, now if I check our URL, you see we have this 3 post rendering inside our post list.html file. Okay, now if we want to get the index of each iteration, then how we can get the index of each iteration? For that, what we can do, we can write index as I. So this will hold the index of each iteration, and if we want to print the index of each iteration, you can do it with the help of Angular interpolation. If I check our URL, you see we have these 0, 1 and 2, which are the index of each iteration. Now if we wish to get the last or first of each iteration, then you can make it first, first first as if, and you can print the f here. So for the 0, this will print true because 0 is the first index, right? That's why for this post it is printing true here, and for the other post it is printing false. You can also make it last as L, and this L will hold the value true or false, and this L will hold the true value for the last element. And if I refresh this URL, you see we have this true for the last element, and you can also print even for E. That means for the even index this will be true, and for the odd this will be false. You see 0 is even, so we are getting true, and for 1 it is getting false. Okay, and you can also print the odd as O. Let's print the O value here, and refresh the URL. You see for the 0 it is printing false, and for 1 it is printing true. So that's it for ngFor directive in Angular. In the next lecture of Angular tutorial, I am going to discuss about ngIf directive, how we can render elements conditionally in Angular. You will learn that in the next lecture. So stay connected.